Chapter 10, 18. Narrow Victory. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. A moment later, someone stepped up. Since Shadow Sect can make sacrifices, why can't we of Heavenly Court do the same? I am willing to stay behind and manipulate Heaven Overseeing Tower. I am willing to. Giving up this body to slay a demon venerable, what reason is there not to? More and more goo immortals stood up. Of course, there were Heavenly Court goo immortals who had other opinions. In my opinion, the urgent matter now is to find out what Spectral Soul is trying to refine. The matter is not desperate yet. We should preserve our strength until absolutely necessary. Back then, when Spectral Soul Demon Venerable was still alive, he could not take down Heavenly Court. Now that he is dead, he is weaker than during life. What should Heavenly Court fear? Heaven Overseeing Tower Lord waved his hand. I have decided those who want to stay will come with me to activate Heaven Overseeing Tower. As for the rest of you, I will send you to White Heaven. Regardless of victory or defeat, you have to gather the remains of the immortal goo house and return to Heavenly Court. After saying this, Heavenly Court's members came to an agreement. Heaven Overseeing Tower shot out a bright light towards the sky before a beam of light descended from the sky, covering the entirety of Heaven Overseeing Tower. Spectral Soul was startled. He tried to control Heaven Overseeing Tower, preventing it from getting out of its phantom form. But Heaven Overseeing Tower was not being manipulated to get out of its phantom form. In fact, its final attack required it to stay in phantom form the entire time. Heaven Overseeing Tower Lord's voice resounded over the surroundings. Spectral Soul Demon Venerable, I will show you the newest and most powerful attack of Heaven Overseeing Tower. Boom! With a loud sound, the surrounding scenery had a subtle change. The myriad tribulation, Vine Dragon, was coiling around Spectral Soul's body, but now, under the control of Heaven Overseeing Tower, it changed targets and attacked the 10 Extreme Formation instead. Spectral Soul's expression changed. Heaven Overseeing Tower's attack was beyond his expectations. Even though he had planned for tens of thousands of years and deduced it countless times, expending the lives of many generations of Wisdom Path goo immortals, his entire plan had been deduced and refined, deduced and perfected. But he did not deduce that Heaven Overseeing Tower had a method to manipulate the myriad tribulation directly. What sort of method was this? An intense aura burst out. Spectral Soul stopped being motionless. He quickly used his methods to resist the attacks of the countless vines. He had experienced many myriad tribulations. To complete the mysterious immortal goo in the 10 Extreme Formation, his battle strength had already been severely lowered. But right now he attacked at full strength. His demonic might was overwhelming. It gave off an unstoppable feeling. Even though more than half of the soul path Dao marks on his body were gone, he was still shining with the light of Dao marks. They were bright and numerous like the stars in the sky. An unimaginable clash. One side controlled the myriad tribulation to attack, while the other soul changed into countless forms to defend against the vines. Even though he was alone, even though he only had his soul left, Spectral Soul showed incredible capabilities in battle that almost resembled a miracle. He blocked all of the vine dragons coming his way. The 10 Extreme Formation was tightly defended by him. Nothing could go through. Heaven Overseeing Tower, still in phantom form, was disassembling. The speed got faster and faster. The countless mortal goo and immortal goo that formed Heaven Overseeing Tower were facing destruction every minute and second. In Heaven Overseeing Tower, every few breaths of time, one rank 8 Heavenly Court goo immortal died, sacrificing themselves. In order to control the myriad tribulation, Heavenly Court had paid a huge price. The same went for Spectral Soul. His main body was already heavily injured. To resist the Vine Dragon myriad tribulation, his soul was diminishing rapidly. It was as fast as a deflating balloon. The aura that was all over the place had weakened. His overwhelming demonic might seemed to have turned from a forest fire to a pile of bonfire. Spectral Soul, you transgress against heaven. You will die like a dog. Before dying, Heaven overseeing Tower Lord shouted his final curse. Around him, all of the heavenly court goo immortals were dead, with a loud bang. The remaining half of heaven overseeing Tower broke apart, turning into countless fragments. The fragments turned back into mortal goo and immortal goo, following the beam of light, penetrating the heavenly windshield wall to go deep into white heaven. The heavenly court. Goo immortals who were left behind to guard white heaven rapidly moved and collected the immortal goo. Most importantly, they had to retrieve fate. Immortal goo. Spectral Soul's body had shrunk from thousands of meters to hundreds, until he was only a handful of meters tall. Not only that, his soul was no longer condensed. It was very translucent. It swayed with the wind. His aura was very weak. The grand tribulation Earth collapse dissipated at this moment. A bright sword light flashed in the sky. Immortal zombie Bo Ching had already flown towards Spectral Soul. Mo Yao's remnant soul inside the body screamed, "Spectral Soul, return my husband to me!" Spectral Soul's gaze was fixed upon the 10 Extreme Formation. The dark fog in the 10 Extreme Formation was gone. All of the 10 Extreme Immortal zombies were sacrificed. Only one round ball was left, shining in the light of 9 different colors. Disarm. Immortal zombie Bo Ching moved closer. "You promised me you will revive him." Spectral Soul turned around, gazing at immortal zombie Bo Ching's face. The split soul that created Bo Ching was already destroyed in the myriad tribulation. With the split soul lost, how can I revive him? "You lied to me?" Immortal zombie Bo Ching clenched his fists. A dangerous light was shining in his eyes. "Of course I did not lie to you. I am Bo Ching's main body. When I revive, Bo Ching will naturally revive as well. When I dominate the world, it would also mean that Bo Ching has attained rank 9 cultivation level. Isn't this what you were hoping for?" Spectral Soul said slowly. "Old scumbag." Immortal zombie Bo Ching was furious. He attacked Spectral Soul. But the sword light had just shone and vanished instantly. Immortal zombie. Bo Ching floated in front of Spectral Soul, unable to move. "You are my final obstacle?" "It is a pity. If Yan Shi did not remind me earlier, you might have caused me trouble. But now?" "Did you forget that all of your sword path immortal goo have my will in them? Did you also forget who was the one feeding them over these years?" Spectral Soul spoke coldly. He paused before continuing. "Now, I will give you one final chance. Kill them and repent for your act of betrayal." Them naturally meant the heavenly court goo immortals in white heaven. Spit. Foolish woman." At the next moment, Mo Yao's remnant soul was pulled out, devoured by Spectral Soul in one mouthful. After swallowing this remnant soul, Spectral Soul's body condensed slightly. "Wu Shi, you will defend me. I only need a little over 10 breaths of time to succeed," Spectral Soul said as he shrunk to the size of a child. "Yes." Ying Wu Shi flew up, standing beside Spectral Soul, looking around alertly. The beam of light that penetrated the heavenly Winshi wall was gone. "We have no chances left." Heavenly Court's goo immortals sighed. They retrieved the remaining immortal goo from heaven overseeing Tower as they retreated. Spectral Soul touched this newly refined immortal goo, with his eyes filled with emotions. After plotting for tens of thousands of years, after so much planning and painstaking efforts, I finally succeeded in refining this rank 9 sovereign immortal fetus goo. With this immortal goo, I can surpass all of the venerables in history. I can obtain the body of an otherworldly demon, reaching an unsurpassed realm that nobody has ever seen. All other immortal venerables and demon venerables in history will not be my match. Even if Renzu resurrects, he will be inferior to me. Ha 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 ha. Spectral Soul raised his head and laughed. In his laughter there was insanity, relief, pride, arrogance, and venting. Wind blew as Spectral Soul swayed in the wind. He almost had used up his full strength. If he did not devour Mo Yao's remnant soul, he might not even be able to keep his form. The laughter stopped. Spectral Soul squinted, having an eerie gaze. The closer I am towards the end, the more I cannot afford to be careless. The remaining soul path Dao marks on him were shining brightly. Using his soul, he could undergo surveillance of a very huge radius. In White Heaven, Heavenly Court's goo immortals had withdrawn, although they left behind many investigative goo worms. Spectral Soul snickered. The light in his soul shined brightly as he spat out a breath of spectral chi towards the sky. This spectral chi moved up, penetrating the heavenly wind chi wall and destroying all of the investigative goo worms left by Heavenly Court's goo immortals. Not a single one was left. Spectral Soul quickly looked around. Soon, he saw Fang Yin. At this moment, Tai Bai Yun Sheng and He Lulan were guarding him. Fang Yuan was lying on the ground. His eyelids were trembling. He was about to wake up. "He is awake! He is almost awake!" Tai Bai Yun Sheng cried out in joy. He Lulan frowned deeply. Looking into the horizon, she said without turning her head, "Then quickly wake him up. Use fixed immortal travel and leave this bloody place." Spectral Soul frowned slightly, but he soon returned to normal. Right now, they were a gigantic distance apart. The radius of 10,000 li around Yitian Mountain was covered by the myriad tribulations. The entire area looked completely different from before. If Fang Yuan used fixed immortal travel, he could only teleport to 10,000 li away from Yitian Mountain. Furthermore, after he wakes up, he might not take a risk and approach the mountain. Even if he takes a risk, there was already enough time for Spectral Soul. After having been enveloped in grand tribulations and myriad tribulations, this entire area was very clean now. The goo immortals who died and the immortal apertures they left behind had all been refined by the 10 extreme formation. A small portion were also destroyed by the tribulations. Only life and death blessed land was intentionally preserved. There are no problems left, eh? No. Spectral Soul turned his gaze towards Ying Wuxi. Ying Wuxi blinked several times, looking at his main body. "How much lifespan do you have?" Spectral Soul asked. Ying Wuxi answered, "I have 15 minutes left." "More than enough." Spectral Soul finally relaxed his mind. He could no longer sustain his form. His body faded and condensed into a ball made of soul. It was the size of a face. Firmly condensed like it was solid, it floated towards the ball-like sovereign immortal fetus goo. During this process, Fang Yuan opened his eyes abruptly. "Heaven's will!" he screamed. He sat up on the ground with a furious and anxious expression. "Fang Yuan, you are finally awake." Tai Bai Yun Sheng and He Lulan were overjoyed. Boom! Fang Yuan attacked, striking at the two who saved his life. Tai Bai Yun Sheng and He Lulan were caught unprepared. They were sent flying. Fixed immortal travel. At the next moment, Fang Yuan used this rank 6 immortal goo. Goo! He spat out a mouthful of blood. His body was shaking. The activation of fixed immortal travel failed. "Damn it! I must make it in time." He gritted his teeth as he thought this, activating fixed immortal travel again. Before Tai Bai Yun Sheng and He Lulan arrived, he succeeded. He was 10,000 li away from Yitian Mountain. Seeing the entire battlefield that had changed beyond recognition, he was stunned. His entire body and mind froze. It was too late. Like what Spectral Soul had expected, Fang Yuan could not make it in time. But right when Spectral Soul was about to enter the sovereign immortal fetus goo, a hand stretched out. Ying Wuxi grabbed Spectral Soul. Spectral Soul was already almost out of strength. Before he could react, he heard Ying Wuxi say 4 words. "Lead soul into dream." What? At the next moment, Spectral Soul fell into a dream realm, and Fang Yuan's soul flew out of Ying Wuxi's body. Next, he rapidly entered the rank 9 immortal goo in front of him.